Oh, hello, boys and girls. Everyone still good? Oh, yeah. Caesar, my man. Caesar and I are so excited to be talking to you guys about the Civil War. And right now, we want to focus on the Battle of Gettysburg. Huh? Gettysburg, Caesar, ever heard of it? Uh-huh. Well, most historians consider it the turning point of the Civil War. We're going to magically whisk our way to the border of Pennsylvania and Maryland. It's July 1st, 1863. Okay. Now, Caesar, the Confederate Army is coming off a winning streak here. They've scored a couple of victories in a row, and Robert E. Lee, the general of the Confederate Army, is feeling confident. He thinks if he can score a victory on Union territory, that the North and Abraham Lincoln might just quit. It might end the whole war. So he and his 75,000 Confederate troops marched north out of Maryland into southern Pennsylvania, where in the small town of Gettysburg, 85,000 Union troops are waiting for them. And over the course of 3 days, some of the most intense, bloody fighting of the Civil War takes place. You guys got to do some reading and watching. Pickett's Charge specifically. Find out, read it. We just don't have time. I'm so sorry. Online learning. But the end result after 3 days, the Union, the North wins, but it's at a cost. They lose 23,000 men. The Confederacy loses over 28,000 men. A third of their army is killed at Gettysburg. Robert E. Lee, the Confederate general, devastated. He offers to resign to Confederate President Jefferson Davis, but he refuses his resignation. In the end, it doesn't completely kill the Confederate effort. The Union kind of failed to advance and press the issue. They kind of let the South retreat. But nonetheless, it's considered the turning point of the Civil War. Things started to kind of go the Union's way after this victory. But more than anything, a lot of people remember the Gettysburg Address, the speech that the Union president, Abraham Lincoln, made in November, a few months later after the battle. People gathered in November to kind of honor the dead and fallen soldiers there. Again, 51,000 from both sides lost their life there. So Lincoln makes an appearance to kind of commemorate that historical battle. And on a rainy morning, he gives what I think is one of the most brilliant pieces of writing in American history. You guys don't mind following along with us, do you? Oh, no. Go ahead. All right. You probably have heard of some of this stuff before, but it's short. Let's get to it. The Gettysburg Address. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those here who gave their lives that the nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, who consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. What Lincoln's saying is the thousands of men who died fighting for the cause of this Civil War, let's not waste it. Let's honor those men by finishing the fight and restoring the Union. Let's not have these men die in vain. Powerful piece of writing from an incredible human being. That is the Gettysburg Address, the Gettysburg Battle, the turning point of the Civil War. Thanks for watching. Caesar, what shall we do?
Say bye.